Hello everyone. Today we are going to look at how to create an outdoor rendering like this in Blender. So we are going to render the tree by creating a plane which has mountains or mounds. So you have an uneven surface. You can also see that the texture is browner on top and greener at the bottom. So we're going to look at how to create this. There's a sky, and then we have an outdoor lighting setup which is done using HDRI lighting. All right. So let us see how to create a scene like this in Blender. The other thing you will also notice that it is a vertical render which is 480 by 800. So this is done to be viewed on a mobile device. Okay, so there is also a tutorial on how I show how to create um, an app for your image gallery of creative works. Okay, so I'll put the link in the description. So whenever you create render, you can also create these renders to be viewed on a mobile. You can also use it as a screensaver you want. All right, so let us see how to get this done. We are in I'll open a new scene. Okay, and then I will bring in the tree into this scene. Okay, so I'll go to file, go to append, then I will point it to wherever the file is. So this was my file. I'll go to collection and I will select collection and say append. Okay, and then this will bring everything that was there in the collection. So I'm going to delete everything other than my tree. All right, so you can see that the tree is now in the scene. I'll save this scene. I'll save the tree render. Just cannot rewrite. File save scene as, I'll just call it tree final. All right, so now the tree is saved. I will create a plane, add mesh plane, and we'll scale the plane big. Okay, and then I'll rotate this plane, shift duplicate first, then rotate, hit the N key and make it 90 degrees, so it's turning straight. I'll move it back, and to hide it and move it up. Okay, I will turn on the face orientation. I don't want this to be red, so I'll turn it around better, 180. Okay, so face orientation will let you know everything should be blue, so the orientation of all the faces that are visible are in the front. Okay, so now we have a tree, and now my tree is rotated. So I'll select this and I'll rotate this just a little bit. I don't want 270, I guess. So I wanted the tree to be, I don't want to render the tree like this, I want to render the tree like this. Alright, so we have two planes, and then we'll add materials to this. So go to materials, new, and we will name this sky material. And then we can also name the object here as sky. Okay, now that we have too many objects, it's better to rename. I'll call this ground, add a new material and name it ground as well. So the sky material, I will make it blue. And the ground material, I will make it say green. Okay, so this setup is done. Now let us add our shadows and lighting. So I'm going to use HDRI image. So you can go to HDRI heaven. go to HDRI heaven and go to HDRI and then go to outdoor. And no matter what light you select here, what the basic difference you will see is how the lighting is. So this has sharp lighting and this has more of a diffuse lighting, all right, shadows. Okay, so either you get sharp shadows or diffuse shadows. So what type of shadows you want your tree to cast, you can select that kind of a image. All right, so I selected this one which creates diffuse, and then you can select this one which can create sharp. Okay, so it depends on what type of shadows you want. So if this here I've used a very uh, image like this which creates sharp shadows. So let us do that and just click on Chinese garden. So it is a nice sunny day and it's creating sharp shadows. Okay, these are the shadows created by different materials. So I'm going to use the HDRI 2K option. Okay, and then it's going to download an HDR file. I'll cut that Chinese and paste it. I already have two more and this third one. So we're going to use the Chinese garden for our purposes. So we'll go to the world properties, go to color. We're going to use environment texture. Okay, not image texture, but environment texture. And then we are going to use our Chinese garden image. And then we'll go to the render mode. So you can see now the Chinese garden is there. And then if you go to, let's save this one. If you go to cycles, you will see the shadow. Now the shadow is direction is not correct. So we need to rotate the image so that we get better shadows. So to do that, we'll go to shading. Okay. And we'll look at our image in render mode. Okay. And we'll go to world. This is where our environment is, which has the HDRI image. And now we'll add a node, a vector node called mapping. Okay. And we'll connect that vector to this vector. Okay. Now the image disappeared. So what we need is we need an input node of texture coordinates. And then we'll connect the generated to vector. Okay, so now our image is back and now we can now rotate our image here. Okay, and because it is cycles rendering, it takes time. So what I'll do is I'll say type 30-degree increments. So if you type 30 degrees in Y, you can see how the shadow is upgrading. So if I type 60, okay, then if it is 90, so now I think maybe we can try 120. Okay, so it says 120 is creating long shadow and 90 was good. So something between 90 and 120. So say 100. Okay, so I like this shadow. I'll leave it to that. Okay, so that's how you can then control your HDRI image. All right, so we'll go back to our layout. And now we need to create, we can add a sky image. So you can go to sky image, go to images, then go to tools, size, use large size so we get good resolution sky image. So we don't want, this is like a space, so we want something that is seen from the earth. Okay, and then we don't want too many, so let us try a clear sky. Okay, so we want lesser clouds. Maybe this looks good without the green, so I'll use this one. Okay, save image as. It's quite big also, so I'll just resave this one as sky. And in Blender, we'll go to the materials and the base color. We will add image texture this time. Go to open and use the sky image. Okay, and then I can get rid of. Let us go back to EV so things are faster. Okay, I'll simply move it down so we don't see any part of the green area. Alright, now we need to add the mounts onto our plane. So I'll go to edit mode and I'll select all the vertices, right click, subdivide. Alright, and under subdivision option we can add like around 10. Okay, so the more points we have, the more control we have over the geometry. Okay, so you can go to view, viewpoint, camera. There seems to be no camera, so we'll go to object mode, view, viewpoint. We'll go to add camera. Then we can go to view, viewpoint, camera. Okay, and then N key and go to view. And then we connect this to the camera. So we want like a more human view. And in the render settings, we want 480 by 800 as our camera. Okay. And then again N, that is locked already. So we need a more human view and down like this. Okay. So this is how our scene setup is going to be. So I'll deselect this. And now our camera is set up. So if you go to view, viewpoint, camera again. Alright. So now we want to modify our mount. Okay. So let us zoom out a little bit. Okay. So if you zoom out, we will see more of the plane. This is good. Okay, I need to deselect this so the camera setup is there. And now I can select, say for example, this point. You know what? I think I need to subdivide it one more time. So I'll select all of these and right click and subdivide it one more time. View of view, viewpoint, camera. Okay. So for example, I'll select this point, and if I move it out, only one point is moving. Okay. So what we will do is we will turn on this button here, which says proportional editing. All right. And if you click once, you'll see that a black circle is created. And when the black circle is created, you have to be clicked. And now you zoom, scroll your mouse button to make it big. And then the other vertices will also get influenced. Okay. So you can make it up or down to control that. Alright, so you can do this at different places. Okay, and then don't do anything where things are not getting manipulated inside the screen. This is what is your important area. So even though we are selecting outside, you can see that it's getting manipulated there. All right, so we can select these different points, and then I can create a bigger circle of influence there, and then you can click again and reduce the circle of influence, so you can get different results. Okay, so you can select here, then go to view, viewpoint, camera settings again, move something. I want a bigger influence there. Okay, you can even move it down. So if, for example, if I select this one here, we'll move a smaller influence. Okay, and start moving it down. Okay, so that looks good. You can go to object, smooth shade, and then you can to render image and see how things look in cycles. Alright, so you can see there are undulations, and then you can go to render image. Okay, by the time this is rendering, what we are going to do is we are going to look at how to, we'll go back to EV, still rendering in the background. Okay, go to the top view. Alright, I will select this one and Shift D to duplicate it. Okay, what I'm going to do is zoom in there. And we need to use this. So now you can see that there's a mountain here, there's a mountain here, there's a mountain here, and here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We will color this in Photoshop so that we get that texture. So I'm going to hit the print screen button here, go to Photoshop, and you can see I created the image here using a grass texture. I'll go to File, New. Things are slow because the rendering is going on. Okay, so you can see how the mountains are looking. It looks like the tree is in the air. I'll create the image in Photoshop and paste that. Then we'll crop it. Okay, and now what we will do is we will select a brown color. Okay, we'll click on brush. When you want to create a new layer so things are managed properly, you can control the brush size. It is a soft brush with a lesser opacity, and then you can start coloring in the brown color onto the mountains. Okay, and then you can go lesser. You can change this to a lighter brown, lesser opacity, spread it around. Okay, so you can create various shades of colors that you like. Okay, and then the environment has many colors. The camera is from here and the tree is here. So you get something like this. File, save as. You can also go to fill. Okay, I can merge this down. Okay, so it becomes one. And then you can go to filter, select the layer. Filter, noise, add noise. So you can add some noise so it has roughness to it. Okay, it has some kind of a roughness to it. And then you can also go and add a blur if you want. Gaussian blur. And it will blur things out a little bit. Okay, and then go to file, save as. JPEG. Then I'll just overwrite this file. This is grass. Okay, we go to Blender. And then we plug that into the plane. Image texture. And use the grass. Okay, I'll delete this one, and this is what we have. So you can see that the mountains are brown on top, and then there is a nice shade of texture. So if you go to view, viewpoint camera, then you can even select the image and move it around to see what part of the mountain you want to see. If you want to scale down the mountains, you can scale this down if you want. And then this roughness can, like the roughness of the mountain goes well with this. Otherwise, you can also add a subdivision surface to make it smooth. Alright, and that's about it. You can go to, you can select these things and move it back, or move the tree in the front. Rendering, render image. And this is your final. This is how it looks in Eevee, and let me check to see if. See, I'm not moving the tree because there are different parts of the tree. So what I'll do is I'll select this foliage first, and then the branch. Right click parent and use the object option. Okay, so now I can select the tree and then the whole thing will move. Okay, so I just want to make sure that the tree is not above. And then if you want, you can even move the tree in the front. View, viewpoint camera. Okay, and then go to render, render image. And this would be, this is in Eevee, we need to create it in cycles. So in cycles, we are using 1280 denoising. We'll turn it on, and then Make sure that it is 128. Okay, and then go to render, render image, and you'll get a final look for the image. It's going to take 2 minutes, as you can see here, just 2 minutes to render. All right, and then you get a nice daylight lighting with good gradation of colors, the background, the sky, and the tree. If you want, you can add some stones in the foreground, some pebbles, some leaves falling down to further enhance the scene if you like. And that's about it. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, you learned something, and follow my other tutorials to learn more about Blender and 3ds Max and Maya. And I also cover, other than modeling and rendering, animation. So check out my other tutorials. Thank you very much for your time. Bye bye.